I'm swimming along, and this big nurse shark appears on my right side, and I had to keep kicking it with my livers. And then on my other side, this barracuda shows up.
I got to experience one of my first times ever being racially profiled.
Monica had a few pitches. She was like, this sketch, and Tinder for Hot Dogs was an idea I had, and I just go, yes!
There's this like kind of character voice I do sometimes that my wife hates that I'm not allowed to do, and it's horny baby. Oh, baby want
And Monica, levels, please?
Pee pee poo poo, pee pee poo poo pee pee, caca pee pee poo poo.
Yeah, hey, I'll be talking like this. Pee pee poo poo, pee pee poo poo.
Well, guess what? It's another SmoshCast. We're still alive. Yay.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. I'm joined today by Shayne Top and our wonderful, illustrious writer, Monica Vasandani.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for coming, Monica.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being so illustrious.
I'm super illustrious.
I heard that word not that long ago, and I was like, that's a good word. I'm jacking it.
100% don't know what that means.
Good.
I'm a writer.
I can't tell you with absolute certainty.
Imaginative, I'm guessing?
No, it means
illustrious, like illustration, like
I think it's like a
visually...
like a very it's obviously a good thing. Like if you've had an illustrious career, it's a bountiful of good things.
I think of it
know.
as the same as voluptuous,
Oh.
Yeah, so that was weird, Ian.
but like really nice.
But nice, though.
I'm going to look it up right now. Well-known, respected, and admired for past achievements.
Huh. That
All
is
right.
correct.
That's okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know about respected, but I don't know where I was going with that. We'll cut that one out. Before we jump too much into this, I just want to give a huge shout out to y'all that are listening. You guys are super awesome. I looked at the iTunes rating of the SmoshCast. It has 5 friggin' stars with over 1,000 ratings. We did not ask you guys to do this, and you did it. And thank you. And if you feel like rating it and saying nice things about us still, I encourage it, and keep it up. And thank you for listening, of course. So I guess let's just jump right into Monica. You told me like 2 days ago that when you first came on to Smosh, it took a while for you to warm up to me.
That is correct. So I thought you knew this.
No, I did not.
Oh boy. Okay. So
I'm very oblivious to things.
Because you've been here for, how it's been years.
almost 3 years.
Yeah, so for 3 years, you had no idea.
Nope.
Wow.
Okay, I'll explain myself.
Okay.
So when I first came on, I think my first week was VidCon. So none of the cast was in. And then I think right around that time, you guys also shot Smosh Games or Summer Games. So again, didn't really see you. And then you were working on Ghostmates.
Yeah.
You were just this like person who existed, but I was like, oh, he doesn't actually come into the office. And then you showed up, and it was like you and Anthony just giving me notes. And so I was like, okay, so this guy I don't know is going to come in here and tell me I'm not funny. But like ultimately, like at that time, I didn't understand Smosh's voice yet.
Yeah.
So really what I was writing didn't work at all. But I didn't know how to take notes, and so I don't know, just didn't like it.
So you're just kind of like, that guy.
Kind of, yeah.
So I was a villain.
Like I knew that, I was like, oh, this is this thing you built, and so I had respect for that, but at the same time, I was like, who's this guy?
It's also tough because at that point, you and Anthony had been making these sketches for so long. You guys had your system.
Yeah.
And so you were trying to come in and write and help out with something. And you're thrown into a completely new territory that you're figuring out. And so you're getting all these notes and you're like, where is this coming from?
It's like a well-worn wagon path, you know? Like we've taken our Oregon Trail wagons across this trail for, 12 years, and we've worn in those ruts. So then the moment Monica comes in here and like a f***ing tractor and just starts driving over our tracks, like, this is how you do it, right?
Hey guys, let's go left.
Yeah. And then we're like, whoa, that's not what we do. Here's some notes on how to drive a tractor our way. I don't know. This is a terrible analogy.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
What I'm saying is, way to judge me.
I mean, eventually we got there.
Yeah.
Because you were working so hard on other stuff, you also weren't writing anything at that time.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear any jokes you had written, but you were like, I hate your jokes, but like wouldn't.
I don't think I said it in those words.
No, not in those words. Like you were nice and diplomatic about it, but ultimately I got really sensitive. And so I was like, he's so mean.
Yeah, that's true because we were like 100% focused on getting Ghostmates finished. And then, Smosh Summer Games. So, yeah, we really were just, God, that was a crazy time. Like, because we were doing so much crap at once. And I had totally forgotten that, like, because that was Smosh Summer Games camp, where we were off in, like, some secluded forest area in the middle of, like, working on the shoot. Anthony and I would go off and give, like, notes on Ghostmates and, like, figure that out. So to also have to be working on the sketches was a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. There were definitely periods of time back then that were nuts, especially for you guys. And I feel like all of us went through that sort of phase that you went through of like
just
joining
being the new guy.
Joining a comedy brand that's been around for well over a decade, and you join and you're like, all right, how do I learn to learn this comedy's style while also bringing in my own.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure early on I brought a bunch of sketches or ideas that it was just like, all right, cool, that's fun in Shayne's mind. How do we make this fit and work?
So what if we all just yell?
Yeah.
Well,
probably.
You brought, I mean, like one of the first things that you brought, which was in your audition, was Tom Cruise working at a Subway.
It was working at a Chipotle.
Chipotle, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, like obviously your Tom Cruise impersonation was great.
Thanks.
And we basically worked it into Tom Cruise was our roommate.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, okay, what's a scenario that would actually make more sense in the Smosh world?
Mm-hmm.
And then this fucking guy contacted us like 6 months later and was like, you stole my idea of Tom Cruise being a roommate. Like we had to like come to this like agreement because he was I want to say he was threatening legal
that I would
action.
never do Tom Cruise ever again on the channel or something.
It was dumb.
It sucked because we vividly remembered organically coming to the idea.
Yeah.
And also our sketch beyond just the overall idea was so different. Yeah. But I felt awful because I was like, oh great, I'm the worst person.
Yeah.
And that's when you were new?
I was brand new. And I was like, God, this sucks. What are the chances of this? And like the sketch was 7 years prior, like
right.
So I'm like, I can't scour the internet every time and be like, oh, this is relatively close.
Yeah.
But I think now we're pretty good about like as soon as we have an idea and we're like, oh, this has some traction, we immediately just search everything for any combination of words, just to make sure we're not.
It still scarred me. With
part,
tweets, with everything. I'm like, has this been done before? And I'll often in pitch meetings, just pitching an idea, I'll be like, this maybe been done before. I just want to get that out there. But this is my idea, and
it's also like everything's kind of been done before. Like there are very few ideas that are 100% fresh,
right?
Especially on YouTube specifically, because there are certain things that do well or that we go after, and you sometimes have to be like, well, that's far away enough that we can still do this.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, especially if you're commenting on something pop culture, everyone's going to have a take on that.
Right.
So it's not too absurd to think that two people in the entire universe are going to have a similar thought. It was weird. With the Tom Cruise roommate thing, we were just kind of like, fine.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't a big deal.
It's not something we're going to waste our time, like, getting into a legal battle about.
Right.
I will say Macaulay Culkin tweeted something that I tweeted.
Oh.
So
you got to get him.
Yeah.
Like, verbatim?
He added a word to the end.
Should we go after him?
I think we should. I posted screenshots of both of our tweets, It got 10 likes and no one really cared.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In your defense, his tweet was, "As an Indian woman, I feel."
How I start all of my tweets.
Yeah.
All of your
You
tweets
should.
are that.
I'm glad they expanded the character count because I was really not getting much more
really
in
tough.
there.
That's how you could get around having your stuff stolen. Just say, as an Indian American woman, this, who also has a little baby boy. Mm-hmm. And then you have like 3 characters left for your actual joke on your Twitter.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's smart. Way to go, Ian.
So one thing that the viewers might notice, not listeners can't see us. I'm sorry, but for some reason we all wore pastel today.
It was entirely planned on Monica and I's part. We brought it up yesterday.
And you were there when
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, well,
you were 100% physically there.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I looked you dead in the eyes as I said it,
And I just blinked.
and you nodded.
I just had a soulless look in my eyes and went, uh-huh. Sounds good.
No, what was it? Was it 2 days ago that you were talking about, or we were talking about Ian not paying attention?
Yes.
You entered, and we were like, yeah, we were talking about something, and you're like, oh yeah, that thing? And we're like, what thing are you thinking we're talking about? And you're like, oh, the thing. And we're like,
I thought
no,
you said,
what are you talking about? And then you lost track of what you were saying and forgot you were in a conversation
Well, no,
with
because
us.
I realized that I completely heard you guys wrong when I walked in, because there's a big topic that I wanted to talk about on this podcast, and I was coming in there excited to be like, hey guys, we should talk about this, and then I could have fucking sworn that you guys were saying that as I walked in, so I was like, oh my god, yes, let's talk about that, and you guys were like, huh? And then I was like, oh, what?
It took us 10 solid minutes.
Yeah.
To coax it out of you. Because we kept asking what you were talking about, and you were like refusing to tell us until we told you what we were talking about.
So weird.
Yeah. What were you guys talking about? I don't remember.
I don't
wasn't
even
listening.
remember. It wasn't important.
It was probably like something mildly personal.
Wait,
but
no, weren't we
uninteresting.
literally talking about Ian and meetings?
No, that was because we were talking about someone feeling worthless.
Oh. Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Someone.
I'm worthless in meetings?
No, you're not worthless in meetings.
No,
No, that's a different subject.
that's different.
What is going on? Oh, Shayne, you're getting
No,
adjusted.
I'm getting adjusted.
Oh,
For
you've been
those
busted.
for those who are just listening on audio, someone came in and
someone has
I
a name.
had thrown
That's-
up a little bit on my
That's
shirt.
Kevin, our producer. Producer Kevin.
Sorry. Finity also stood up. There was people moving around. Someone put a weird hat on me.
Someone gave you a little handy under the table.
Yes. No, that wasn't Kevin. I don't know who did that.
How do I get in on that?
Surprise.
Great.
I'm waiting.
Well, you have to earn your keep here at Smosh. That doesn't come until you unlock year 5.
Okay.
I'm not even on year 5.
I can't
Shayne got
count.
his handy early.
I'm not even on year 4 yet.
What?
I'm not.
Really?
Not yet.
Are you sure?
I am 100% positive.
When did you start?
I started in June.
Okay. But like we were talking to
June
you probably
what?
around this time, right?
Yeah, it was
took a while.
talks.
It took a while to
Talks.
finalize. All
Took
that.
a while to coax me in.
Yeah.
I was like outside, and you're like, come on, and I'm like, and I would be like, oh, and then I'd run away, and you'd have to get some bread and toss it, put it out in lines,
Yeah.
and I'd like be like, nope.
And then the final thing that got him was the handy contract.
The handy contract.
But I said if your biceps get swollen enough, I can cut a year off that contract.
Oh, so I just got to get swole.
Cha.
But you're already swole.
Oh my God, thank you, Shayne.
I've gone rock climbing with Monica, and
Yeah.
she kicks ass.
Do you like rock climbing or bouldering better?
So I just started bouldering, which if you aren't familiar with climbing, bouldering is shorter walls and no ropes, but there are pads under you, so you just kind of hop off. And then roped climbing, taller walls, you're attached by a rope. And I started recently, and I actually really like it. I kind of roasted it for a while because there's definitely 2 different camps of climbers. And the people that I climbed with were also very anti-bouldering, so we would just talk. And then I started doing it, and I fell in love.
Because it's more like technical, right? It's like small challenges, and like you can constantly fail and then get back up and try to do it again.
Yeah,
right?
you can really, you spend a lot of time getting one move right. Whereas I feel like sometimes when I'm on a taller wall, I'm just focused on moving on to the next part and not nailing the move really precisely.
Yeah, I freak out immediately. Once I get like 5 feet off the ground, I'm like, but what if my guy doesn't catch me? I'm a very risk-averse person. My dad was definitely more of the risk taker. He did hang gliding and all that stuff. And
That's crazy.
Yeah. Being like way up in the sky or being in the ocean really scares me.
Yeah.
Ocean doesn't scare me.
Really? Should.
Dude, but it's the same type of feeling where it's weird. Because I remember when I was younger, we would go to Key West and go fishing, and we'd be out like 15, 20 miles. And there was one vivid memory I have of just jumping into the ocean. Just like I was in my swim trunks and I was like, let's just jump in. It's just like, we don't know.
You don't belong there.
Where this goes. My great, great, great ancestors were fish.
Have you heard of
Okay.
Have you heard of thalassophobia?
That's what yeah, the fear of the deep.
Is it open water or?
It's compulsive fear of the sea or really any deep, dark body of water.
I don't think that I have a compulsive fear. I just understand that we're not meant to be there.
I will admit, there was a time when I was snorkeling and the water can get really murky, whatever. And I was probably like 9 years old and I'm swimming along and my dad was spearfishing, so he would sometimes just go way ahead and he would leave me just like kind of by myself.
Nope.
And there was a time the water was really
he was
murky.
trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And probably. And there's these fish called tarpon and they can get up to like 8-9 feet. But like 6-7 feet, right?
Okay. Big.
So like a school of just massive ones suddenly just like comes towards me and they just appear. So you just suddenly see these massive things and they're so close to you. It's really trippy that it's just all this stuff is always around.
Did one touch you?
No, but you will touch things. Like things get so close. There was a time when my dad he had some fish that he'd killed and he gave me the ring of dead fish. So I had 3 dead fish. I'm like same
you were
age.
the shark bait.
And I'm swimming along and this big nurse shark appears on my right side and is like, I'm going to take those. Like, I'm going to get those. And this shark is way bigger than me, but I know it's not a shark that'll kill me.
Yeah.
But it's swimming towards me, and I had to keep kicking it with my hoovers. And then on my other side, this barracuda shows up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
barracudas are
Those
actually
are frightening.
terrifying.
Those are frightening.
They look like a Disney villain. And it's trying to get it on my... So I'm sandwiched between them both, and I'm like kind of like trying to yell, but I have a snorkel in my mouth.
So to confirm, your dad left you.
Yeah.
And you didn't die. So then he was like, hold these fish. I'll be back in shark-infested
We do that all
waters.
the time. Actually, my brother, when he was younger, this was years prior, same situation. A shark did bite his hand with the ring of fish and bit the glove. Luckily, he was wearing a glove, but it took the glove off and took the ring. And he comes up and he goes, Dad, I like whatever, like the shark bit the ring out of my hand and stuff. My dad goes, you lost the ring?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Very, very intense. My dad is
Shayne,
insane when he gets in the water.
Shayne, I don't know if this is too personal, but do you think your dad ever wanted kids? Or do you think
he wanted to go out to the sea?
Did he have a life insurance policy out on you?
Maybe.
How often did
Hi, I'm going to go out to the ocean with my 8-year-old son. I'd like to get, just in case he dies, I want to make sure I get some money.
Yeah, how often did he make you hold the dead fish that are bleeding in the ocean and attracting sharks and barracudas?
Well, all the time. Oh my God.
Did he ever hold on to those fish?
It was only that one time, and that really sucked.
Because it didn't work out, so you had to
no, he gave up. He's like, not this. The fish don't want him.
Yeah. Well, nurse sharks aren't dangerous, right?
Nurse sharks aren't dangerous, no, but they'll try to get fish if you have them. And same with barracudas. They're not dangerous. They're not going to go for a person. But if you're wearing, like you shouldn't wear jewelry or anything shiny, because fish will just go up and bite your ear off or something.
I'll have to take off all my earrings.
Don't do it, Ian.
Sorry, it's just
they're part of your personality.
I know. I look
It's
so
who
fabulous.
You are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that your dad tried to get you killed.
It's okay. It made me who I am.
A
YouTuber.
A disappointment.
A disappointment. This is how Monica talks. Like, even when she is genuinely super excited, you're at this level. Like, it's always. I feel like you're always like, oh yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's
I feel
very
it inside.
cool.
It's there.
Also, Monica, you like to make people feel awkward. Like sometimes you'll just and I guess I do it sometimes too, but like you'll be like, yeah, that's interesting, and then just stare.
Can you make Ian feel awkward?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
have.
it's not possible with him.
Well, I mean, there's a normal thing she does, but then also horny baby.
That's the best, though.
Monica, and I don't. How did horny baby even come across? How did that even come up?
I don't remember how it came up. I think we were just talking about characters. Oh, here's what it was. I came in and I was like, oh, there's this like kind of character voice I do sometimes that my wife hates that I'm not allowed to do. And it's horny baby. Oh, baby want And so I wanted to do it at work because
You can't get
it's
it out.
fun to
in the,
do.
in the,
Yeah, and I
in the
can't
house.
do it at home.
Oh my God.
But then you busted out. I'm like, oh no.
It feels bad. It feels bad to do it, but it's such a fun voice to do.
Does horny baby have any other lines?
That's pretty much it. 'Cause
That's it.
It's a baby.
Babies
Ian.
don't know many words.
They just know baby and want and f***y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I hope so many kids are listening to this podcast with their parents.
I hope that my son does not unearth this.
Yeah.
Oh, he
One
will.
Okay. Tinder for hot dogs.
Tinder for hot dogs.
Yeah. What about it?
Tinder for hot dogs was a sketch that you pitched.
Well, so
And
Shayne and I were locked
I still
in a
feel like
room.
we might do it.
Oh, we're
some
going to
point.
do it at some point. And you know when we're going to do it? Hold on. Well, first let's talk about Tinder for hot dogs.
Yes.
Because whenever Monica and I are, it's like, hey, sometimes they'll be like, hey, Monica, Shayne, go come up with some ideas for stuff or write out some stuff. We need some new sketch pitches, whatever. And Monica and I will hit on a topic that we're like, that's it. That's gold.
When usually it is not. Sometimes it is.
Anyways, Monica had a few pitches. She was like, this sketch, and Tinder for hot dogs was an idea I had. And I just go, yes,
Shayne
Tinder
was
for
all
hot
in,
dogs.
so I was like, this is obviously a great idea and viable.
Yeah.
So then I pitched it at a pitch meeting, and no one gave it the respect it deserved.
Well, hold on. I'm pretty sure I said something akin to yes.
I mean, dude, Tinder, come on. First of all, beyond a sketch, it's a good idea. It's just a genuinely good product. You want a hot dog, but there's many types of hot dogs, but the world, our economy doesn't cater to differentiating between hot dog tastes.
Right. And for hot dogs being such an American food, we don't put it in the spotlight enough.
We really
This
don't.
is true.
And-
And it's like sometimes you're in the mood for a Nathan's, sometimes you're in the mood for a Hebrew National.
But see, you're talking about different brands. We're going beyond that.
Oh.
See, Tinder for hot dogs, from the simplicity of an app on your phone,
Go on.
you're getting like, do you want a bratwurst? Do you want beef? Do you want
That's
turkey? These are all the different types of dogs.
What
not a
flavor
hot dog,
profile do
though.
you
What
want?
flavor profile?
See-
What sauces do you want? It gets, and type of buns you get. Oh my God, at the extremes,
And you want to know that it's close by. Like, I want to know that I don't have to travel more than 4
Yeah,
miles.
you want to see how close, and you can specify in your bio. It's like dogs under 6 inches. Swipe left. Get really specific with it. This podcast is brought to you by Tinder for Hot Dogs. No, it's
should just
great.
make
It's a
that.
great idea. It's funny, but it's also good.
I have to admit, I tried to write it. I got nowhere. I think Ryan Finnerty left me an hour to write it, and I tried so hard. I got 6 lines in, and I was like, I'm just gonna work on something else because I hate this while
Just
I'm working on it.
hand me the reins, and I'll give you an autobiography on Tinder for hot dogs.
You're gonna write Tinder for Hot Dogs. Is that what you're saying right
But
here?
an autobiography, so from the point
from
of
the
view
point of view of your
Tinder
life.
for Hot Dogs.
I don't know what I was going. I'll give you a book the size of the Odyssey
Well,
for Tinder for hot dogs.
you know what I think? I think if enough listeners give us a 5-star review with the review saying "make Tinder for hot dogs," then we're gonna have to make Tinder
Yes,
for hot dogs. If we get
please give
enough,
me those
if we get
dogs.
enough 5-star reviews
and if you
on
guys
this podcast,
and if you guys go to the YouTube and like it and subscribe,
yes,
if we get 50,000 likes on YouTube on the SmoshCast YouTube video about
we'll
this,
make Tinder for hot
make-
dogs.
Tinder
we'll
for
make
hot
Tinder
dogs.
for hot dogs.
Make my dreams come true, please.
Somebody do something for Shayne for once.
I can't stress. I can't stress how much I want Tinder for Hot Dogs made, and this is the only way that it's going to get made, guys. You all have to come out in droves and support this podcast in every way possible on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes, in every way, and Tinder for Hot Dogs will come to fruition.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, guys. Please.
You are a graduate from a fashion institute, right?
Yes. Well,
so you went to FITM, right?
yes, I did.
And that stands for
Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
That also really works, like fit 'em, like you know, because you're making stuff that people fit into.
Tell me about those pants. To fit them.
Where does this fit into?
Oh.
Where? Oh, dang!
Got him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where does this? How did you end up? So you went to college for like fashion and merchandising and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. Not exactly by choice.
Okay.
My grades were really bad in high school, and so I couldn't get into a lot of schools. But
So
I
you
was like, I can
fulfill-
go kind of a trade school.
You couldn't fulfill like the immigrant parents' desires of becoming a lawyer or a doctor.
Right.
So, fashion.
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh, I wanted to be a comedian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From like how early,
I used
very
to,
early
yeah,
on.
when I was like very young, I used to write a lot, and I used to jack my brother's talk boy and do like a little radio show and like and make my family listen to it, and I think they didn't like it that much.
And now you're on a podcast and you're going to make your family listen to this.
Oh, I would hate it if they listened to this.
Oh man, I miss Talk Boy.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my god.
It's just
Shayne.
like a little tape recorder.
Okay.
But it was marketed for children.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a classic old, or was that Yak Back? I'm getting confused with the Yak Back, I think. Talk Boy was similar, but they have a commercial where it's like this like boy like sneaks up on like his like sister making out with the boy. And he's like, "Stop drooling on me."
I think that's Talk Boy.
That
Okay,
sounds like the 90s. It
Yeah.
sounds like a 90s
Oh, it was
commercial.
the most 90s commercial ever.
And then they made the Talk Girl.
Oh, it was just pink, right?
Yeah.
That was like, wait, girls aren't buying this because it's blue. We gotta make it pink.
It was gray, which is a gender neutral color.
Yeah.
But because they had boy in the title, they were like, oh, now we can, get more of the market.
Love the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Different time.
So you had the Talk Boy.
Yes.
Wow.
Because it was my brother's, and we often shared one toy.
What?
Like, we were given one thing to share, like when we both wanted a toy.
That
we were
sucks.
given one of them.
That sucks.
What?
That's a bummer. That's a real bummer.
One toy.
How old was your brother? Were you the same age?
He's 2 years older than me.
Okay.
So, and I get it because they were, like, my parents were never going to get their money's worth if they're like, let me buy two of the identical thing, and then it would be abandoned.
I've been to your parents' house, Monica. They're doing okay.
Yeah, because they didn't waste their money on two toys for two kids.
They didn't buy so many Talk Boys. They saved up instead. I get it because, like, now I have nieces and a nephew or whatever, and I see, like, you get a toy for them, and it's like, that'll be done with in a month.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're going to get bored with that. So I fully understand where your parents are coming from. But remembering as a kid, I would have hated that. I would have hated having to share every single thing.
I think I didn't know any better, but also my brother and I used to fight and, like, beat the out of each other.
Well,
so.
that's why.
Were you bigger than your brother?
No.
Were you older than your brother?
No, but I used to bite him and then cry to my parents that he started it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then
the
later,
ultimate little sister move.
and you only became better because you were on wrestling team, right?
Yeah, in
And
high
then
school.
I remember back in the day when Kurt Maloney still wrote with us, he was like, "Yeah, if you try to wrestle Monica, she will defeat you."
Yeah.
Ian and I.
I tried.
You tried to.
Ian didn't go that hard because
I just don't. I just don't know what's okay and what's not okay in a play wrestling match. So I challenged. She was saying that Kurt would throw down.
Yeah.
And she'd beat Kurt.
And
at
for those
wrestling.
listening, Monica is how tall? Like you're
5 feet.
yes, and Kurt Maloney is like 5'11",
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, you would destroy him if I remember correctly. I only heard about it, but he was like,
We were pretty evenly matched, but usually I would come out on top.
Yeah. So I tried to play wrestle Monica And then I want to say you just kind of hopped on my back or something. You just kind of like a little spider on me.
Yeah.
And then I just I believe I admitted defeat.
And I was like,
or it was just a stalemate.
This is a weird thing to be doing. I think I had a moment of clarity of
I think we
are
both did.
At an office party right now. And
someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of both had a moment of clarity from the time that probably 30 seconds after I realized that you were just stuck on my back and nothing was going to change. So you did wrestling in high school, which there's a great photo that we have floating around here somewhere.
Yeah, I found like my wallet-sized freshman year wrestling picture, so I brought one into the office.
It's so great because it's you just in this like the wrestling position. I'm sure everybody's wrestling photo's the same.
Yes.
It's just kind of like
yeah.
like just like
It's
crouched.
pretty.
It's
I'm
pretty
gonna
great.
get you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's exactly that. Did you ever wrestle? Were there other girls that you wrestled against?
Yeah, so there weren't that many girls, but there were tournaments that were girls only, and then a few teams did have girls on their like varsity lineup or whatever. So
I mean, because with wrestling, like the weight classes are so defined, right?
yes.
So to get another girl that just so happens to be in your weight, because it's not like cross country where it's just like everyone just runs at the same time and it doesn't matter how
Go,
big
kids.
or small you are.
Good. Get out of there.
Yeah, just like go through the woods or something, and then come back eventually.
Yeah.
Go away and then come back.
So if there wasn't a girl in your weight class, would you wrestle a guy then?
Yes.
And then were they like? I mean, it's high school, so everybody's just awkward.
Yes.
But like, was that just like really weird for them?
Yeah, some guys refused
Wow.
to wrestle me.
Did they ever give it like on what grounds? Was it like
That they just didn't.
they just don't want to,
They
or-
thought of it as a lose-lose because either you beat a girl or you lose to a girl, and
Yeah.
because of sexism, that's like
that
bad.
sucks?
Either
Yeah.
way,
That sucks.
I mean, there's definitely no toxic masculinity in wrestling.
no.
Come on. I mean, on the flip side, you definitely have to be comfortable with yourself if you're gonna like walk around in a little onesie or
Yeah,
what do you call that? Singlet?
singlet, yeah.
I can't imagine doing anything like that. I mean, I guess I'm the one. I did swimming for a while when I was like early teens, and having to wear those Speedos or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
being a teenager, a teenage girl, being like, oh, everyone can see my whole body. Cool. That was also when I asked my mom to start buying me thongs. Because I was like, I can't be the girl with the panty line
Oh, in the singlet.
in the singlet. Yep.
Yeah, that's about when I asked my mom for thongs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said no.
I'm sorry.
No, you know.
You're an adult now. You can get your own thongs.
Oh, trust me, I do.
Good.
Yeah. Monica, when I was over at your parents' place, it was your baby shower.
Yeah, my wife's baby shower.
It was your wife's baby shower.
Yeah, I mean, because she carried the baby. I didn't do anything. I was just there.
I just rooted her on. I guess I never thought about that. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you didn't do anything.
I do now. Yeah, I just left her alone for 9 months.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
You left
Kept
her out in
trying
the
to-
woods.
Yeah,
let her
like
fend for
cross
herself.
country. Yeah.
It was at your parents' place where I got to experience one of my first times ever being racially profiled.
Yeah, you got
Nice.
to see how it felt.
Yeah, I know it was fun. One of Monica's relatives came up to me, and she started talking to me. She assumed that I knew this guy. The only reason she assumed I knew the guy was because this guy was also white with a beard
And
she's-
glasses.
and glasses, and she assumed that all the white guys with beards and glasses know each other.
Well, did you know him?
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't know him.
You friggin' know him. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, damn it. But I didn't take offense to it. But it was funny to me because I was actually a little excited because I was like, oh, this is my first time being racially profiled.
Yeah, that's how it feels every time.
Do I get a ribbon? Is that how this works? Do I get anything for it?
You get treated like a second-class citizen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
it's awesome.
Okay, that's good to know. Actually,
Yeah.
no, it's my second time being racially profiled. Earlier in the year, I was at a Thai food place and I asked for a certain spice level, and the guy was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, like it shouldn't be too bad." And then like the lady that ran the place came out and she was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll get the less spicy." And they came out and it wasn't spicy. And I was like, I think I've been racially
I
profiled.
don't think that's because you're white. I think that's just because you look like a huge wuss.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
you're a very soft man.
that. Yeah, I'm a soft boy, but I do like my spice.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
soft on the outside,
Wow,
cold
being
and empty on the inside.
racially profiled twice.
Yeah.
Really,
I know.
really
Yeah.
tough.
Like, what's...
I think I've been racially profiled less, but I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't know.
I mean, I
I
can't
assume
tell the
everything's
difference
personal. I
between
feel
you
like,
and Damien.
well, yeah, we're the same person.
Yeah.
Literally the
true.
same. That's because we were on Disney Channel. We're all
I
the
don't think about it all the time, but I'm sure that I've been treated differently by some people, like based on my race or being a woman or being gay. But I don't think about it because I'll never know which one it is.
Yeah. You kind of hit the lotto, Monica. like, of like things you could be discriminated against.
Yeah, so I can't, because then I will drive myself crazy trying to be like, well, is this person more like, are they more of a homophobe or more of a racist?
And you ask
Or
them,
more
and
of a
it makes
sexist.
them short circuit because they're like, I don't know why I'm mad at you.
It's like, which one? I need to pick one to be mad at you about.
And they just
Yeah.
sparks fly out of their neck.
Did you grow up in an area that was like welcoming of it, or did you kind of keep a lot of it like under wraps? Like,
I mean, I think that you're talking about being queer, right? Not being brown.
Well,
Because
In short circuits.
they knew.
yes.
I grew up like in the suburbs outside of LA. So because it's Southern California, there is definitely like people are accepting and a little bit more liberal, but it was a suburban area. So I still like, I didn't feel 100% comfortable there, but it was also within my own home life and stuff. I didn't feel 100% comfortable. And of course, you know, my family has now come around and been really supportive, but it took a while to get there.
In like high school and stuff, were you out then, or was it just kind of like a thing where like, I can't deal with this right now, I'm gonna wait till after? Or I guess I don't even know if that's the decision process.
I came out when I was 16. Okay. And I kind of started before that, where, you know, I'd tell a couple people and got a generally accepting reaction, and so became a little more comfortable with myself and got to a point where I was like, well, if this person doesn't like me or accept me, then it's better that I know, and then because this is who I am. So yeah, I came out in high school, which at that time, not a lot of people were out in high school.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like, because we're like the same age, and I feel like we were on that sort of like edge of like Prop 8 passed. Prop 8 was the California law that banned gay marriage.
Yeah.
And that passed in like 2008.
Right. And so in I was 16 in like 2003.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 years before people were still like, hey, we don't like this. It's gross.
Yeah. I didn't know anybody in high school that was out.
Yeah.
Like I knew a couple people came out afterwards, but in my high school, I mean there was maybe one girl that was like very much out. Other than that, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any gay friends that I knew of. Mm-hmm. So it was very weird. Like I feel like nowadays it's much more encouraged.
I mean, visibility really helps. Like when you have people that you can look to and know that there are successful people who are like you, you know, aren't like who are doing well and they're happy. It gives you the courage to come out. And living in a time when everyone's quiet about it, it makes it even more difficult to be the person who is like the first person out of all your friends or whatever.
And like I guess like in the arts, I guess that was always a little more okay. Mm-hmm. You know, like if you saw someone successful as like an actor or like a theater actor, and it was like, well, yeah, but that's like, it's okay to be gay there. But like you said, like seeing other successful people now like in business, you're finding like, oh, this person's gay.
And politics,
same thing. So now it's like a much like broader thing where it was just like before you would only see like very open people in like the arts.
Yeah. And I think I hope we get there with sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, oh man, yeah.
It's tough with, it's the hope. It's masculine, very masculine industries. It's just like, it's such a tough fight, man. Like, just tough to, I don't know.
And it's probably all, and I think some of that falls on the fans too.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I think most of it
it's
does.
just that culture. It's just, they're just not accepting of it.
Because I honestly
They're
don't
not
think
comfortable. It's an insecure. I mean, masculinity is so insecure at its core, and that's the issue.
I honestly don't think a lot of the athletes even give a shit. Like I think it's more on the.
I think some of them do, but
yeah,
it is on the fans because the LA Kings, the hockey team, they have a Pride Night once a season, and I follow them on Instagram, and they posted about Pride Night, and I made the mistake of looking at the comments, and it was just people being like, why would you do this? Don't do this. What about Vets Night? And like stuff that already exists.
What?
And it's such a bummer.
Yeah, they're suddenly upset about things regarding that they would never be upset about regarding anything else. It was the same as when God, what is his name? There was the LA. It was when they were still the St. Louis Rams. There was a player who got drafted and he was openly gay.
Yeah.
Michael Sam, that's right. I was like,
yeah,
Sam,
yeah,
but he kissed his boyfriend, and people made a big deal. They're like, he did that on purpose to show it in our faces. I'm like, how many people lean and kiss their wife or girlfriend in the same? I bet you we can look in earlier in the same draft, but you have an issue with that because you're looking for that and you're paying attention to that, and you're upset about that.
And a lot of people react to male on male affection as icky. And then
girl on girl is hot.
Basically, yeah, it's like hypersexualized, and it's like, this is icky, so I need to find a reason to justify why I don't like it because I can't just say it's icky.
Yeah.
You can't say it's because you're uncomfortable with yourself and with your own masculinity. Yeah, because it is obviously the cultural, like, discriminatory view of it, but it's also, and people I know who are like that, it's a fear of vulnerability, right? And it's a fear of like, here's someone who's just openly like, there's an aspect of that, and I think it's why sexism and homophobia I think are so tied, especially with men regarding that, because it's just like it's a fear of being more in touch with your emotions and stuff, which is why I feel like that side, those same people who say those horrible things, also are the ones who are rocking those mugs that say "F your feelings." So I'm like, yeah, because you kind of are scared of feelings,
right?
So it's better to just say, I'm gonna kill feelings, like shoot feelings with a gun, as opposed to let yourself feel stuff and be okay with things.
I want a mug that says "Shoot your feelings with a gun."
Feel empathy.
I'm sure it exists.
I'm gonna check.
New Smosh merch.
But like bring it like back around to Smosh, like there's obviously all types of people that watch our stuff, and I want our content to represent everyone. I don't want it to offend people intentionally. Obviously, some people are just going to be offended by the nature of a joke because jokes have their but,
Tom Cruise people offend them. But
I mean that's where like Monica, like you're so instrumental, or as Courtney would say, detrimental on accident. She said that in the last podcast. She got those words mixed up. But I feel like you're a very big like piece to this, and I don't mean to shoulder this burden on you, but like being a woman, being a person of color, being queer, like those are not life experiences that I have.
Right.
That I'm excited to have somebody like yourself who had a completely different life experience add that sort of knowledge and know-how and experience into Smosh.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate how much my voice is valued here, because at first especially there was like a little bit of a fear, and I felt like I had to maybe conform to like everyone else's point of view, which, everyone writing for Smosh was a straight white man, basically.
Yeah.
So, feeling like, oh, I have to adjust myself so that I fit in with this. And then realizing that I'm here because I have my own unique voice. And I don't think it's like a tokenism thing. I think it's just like, hey, let's make sure we have as many points of view as we can have in this. But then there are other times where it feels like it feels like a lot of responsibility to be like, oh, I'm here to speak for all people of color. I'm here to speak for all women. I'm here to speak for all queer people, when there's no way to do that. Like, I could do my best to do right by marginalized groups, but there's no way that I can speak for all of them.
So does that, like, do you ever, so you feel like that's a pressure sometimes? Like,
sometimes. And then sometimes I also feel like I don't want to be the downer here, but this is like I'll say, hey, this is kind of maybe not great for this group to hear.
Yeah.
Which you never want to be the downer in a room.
But I think but whenever you've brought it up, it's made total sense. Like,
right.
it hasn't been like, a very, very like insane thing.
And you're not the only one who's doing that. I feel
right.
like we've all as a group have gotten better about it.
And I think it was a lot of that feeling of responsibility was just this like internalized thing that I have that I'm kind of working through.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I know that no one's goal is to hurt people, because we want to do the opposite. Like, we just want to make people laugh.
We have a small amount of time. Should we talk about Jessy Taylor? Should we bring that up? All right. So there was this girl. She's sort of like a controversial Instagram user. She posts a lot of like underwear photos, bikini photos, that kind of stuff. Very like in your face kind of controversial person. Her name is Jessy Taylor, and she attracted the ire of people online, and they got her account deleted on Instagram. She had 130,000 followers. So she took to YouTube and went on this big tirade about how this was her life, and without her followers, her life is meaningless, and how she says that she's not, something to the degree that she's not like the 90% of people who can work a 9-to-5 job, and she says that she's incapable of doing that, and that's not why she moved to LA. And she also said she said like, I'm worthless without my followers, and this is my favorite quote. She told this website that her account being deleted felt like a murder. She said, I felt like it was a homicide, like somebody murdered me and then went online to say, I murdered this girl. She then said, I called the police actually and told them about this, and they said, you can't compare a murder to this. And I was like, no, that's exactly what it felt like.
That part's really funny. Called the police.
This whole story and the video that she put out is a wild roller coaster.
It's a massive, because we all watched this video together, and we started off being like, oh God, and then it got us all to a point where we're like, oh no, but then we went through every emotion.
Yeah, we were like, I was like rooting for her, and then I was like, but I'm kind of disgusted, but like I want the best for you.
Because it suddenly comes up that she used to be a prostitute,
Yeah.
and we're like, whoa, okay, and it goes so many places. Do we know what exactly she did that they used to get it deleted?
Well, I saw an old video
because that's a factor.
I saw an old video where she very gleefully proclaimed that she's a racist.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not so solid.
She's like, yeah, I'm a racist. I was like,
is that yeah, not defending. That's pretty bad.
Obviously, I didn't see the context.
Is there like, I'm curious if she's posting content like that all the time.
Look,
right.
I went to her backup account, her Instagram account, and it's a very little substance. So her complaint was that there's plenty of other larger users that are controversial. So why can't she be controversial?
Well, isn't the guy who took her, how great is the person who took her down too? You know, because it's kind of like the guy who came after the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. The guy who came after him was also tweeting horrible stuff. I mean, it's
right. Yeah. The guy. It's not necessarily. I don't know if it's necessarily the guy or his fans, but the guy Well, I didn't do enough research, but there's a guy, Ice Poseidon. He's known for having like these very terrible fans that basically they ruin his life, and that's his whole kind of gimmick.
Okay.
Like they like swat him in public, and
okay.
But he's made a career out of it. But he's also kind of attracted a very sort of toxic fan base. I think she sort of directed the ire of him and his fan base, so they came after her.
The craziest thing out of it was her saying, "I'm nothing without my following," and it makes me wonder, for us, like in this industry, what would your reaction be if you just suddenly it was gone? Well, if your all your social media just got deleted and you have to restart it all.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know why I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but. When she said that, she went on to say that it's because that was her income. So without followers, she had no income.
True. I mean,
right. But
also saying like, I will not work a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
Like she said like,
well, because she said she used to work at McDonald's and she hated it.
But then she said she has no skills. Like she just went back
It's
and
all
forth.
over the place. Yeah. You'll feel bad for a second. Then
between like, are you saying that other people like are worse than you for doing this stuff, or are you saying that you're like they're better than you, or what are you getting at here?
I do think that video says a lot about society, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think there is a part of that mindset that's in all of us.
Yes, I think that anyone who's like their main income or their job is essentially being in the public eye. Has a little bit of that, like I'm worthless without my followers.
But if your whole brand is being controversial and being a problem, and like we give like way too much attention to people that we really shouldn't give attention to, and she made a living off of it for a time.
Yeah,
she claimed that she made $500,000 over the 3 years that
what?
So she said she made $500,000 from her account over 3 years. She said that money does not last. She said you go to the Gucci store a few times, you pay a couple months of rent. I'm not rich like I used to be.
Absolute roller coaster. I'm telling you, everything she says will change every sentence she says will change your mind about her.
Right.
Yes.
Every single sentence.
I mean, there's a lot of just really poor decisions in this person's life, and she says when somebody said
how old is she?
She's like 21.
I mean,
yeah, she's 21.
I was a piece of shit when I was
that's
21.
The thing, man. Like with social media, we're like constantly. It's like a 19-year-old says something. I'm like, dude, what decade?
Yeah.
What,
but also like I like she alluded to like not having a good family life and being kicked out and being alienated and like having all her friends backstab you. But when somebody says everyone's backstabbed me, it's like, well, maybe you were the problem.
And then there's this like you want to believe this person who's been victimized, but you're also only hearing one side of a story.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pass judgment when you don't know anything.
I think the big thing is like this is sort of a clear example of somebody that just needs a really good person to just kind of like be like, oh, honey, like just like.
Well, that's probably the problem. Is she doesn't have any sort of support.
I've seen people.
Support.
Yeah, I've seen people like her. I know people like her, and it's just it's not necessarily their fault, but what happens afterwards? It's like, okay, it's not enough personal responsibility. $500,000. Let's say you're 18 and you get $500,000. What are you going to do with that money?
That's true. I mean, you can't fault when
you don't have somebody like my dad's an accountant, so
and also like
he's hammered into my head. Like, you get money and you save it.
Finances are really difficult, and we do not teach anything regarding. That's what I have I don't think it's that much of a conspiracy theory, but the reason we don't teach finances very early on is because I think that's what society wants. They want you to blow all your money.
They don't
give it to everybody else.
They don't teach you about credit card debt. Like
no. Why would they?
You get into college and they're like, here's a credit card. Go have fun with it. It's free money.
Or come to school, take out this huge loan at this crazy interest rate. Like sign up for this when you're 17.
Yeah.
This like crippling debt.
Pay us until you're 45.
I remember I don't know if it was an economics class or what. We learned how to write a check. Teach me about 401k. Teach me about mutual funds. Teach me about how to do my friggin' taxes.
Oh man,
And which I don't know how to do because again, my dad's an accountant, so he does my taxes. So
it also must be insane, like for her to go from having no money to that amount of money.
Yes.
Not like she slowly, like her lifestyle slowly changed
Right.
to fit that. It went from nothing to Gucci.
yeah.
That's my autobiography.
From nothing to Gucci.
it's nothing good came out of this. But I think
it's definitely sad in a way.
Yeah. But I think there's definitely there's a whole ton of lessons you can learn from just this one video of her freak out. And
Right.
I don't take enjoyment out of the fact that she's in this situation, but I also definitely don't approve of her content or anything she's done.
Can you imagine if you worked any other job and you were like kind of a dick about it and then you got fired and then released this video?
Yeah, can you imagine a job that paid you $500,000 over the course of 3 years and then you get fired from the job and then you're like, well, I just can't work another job. I just can't do it.
Well, once you get used to that lifestyle, you must think like it must be impossible to go back to actually working.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like for her, like she got used to, and I mean for so many people who make these types of livings on social media where it's like, oh, I can just be an awful person
Yeah.
and make money and just post whatever and make money, and then suddenly that being
And I
gone.
don't know if it's the thought process of I can be awful and make money, but it's like you say one terrible thing and then it blows up and it gets all this
Yeah.
attention. So you're like, okay, that's what
Yeah.
people want
That's how I
to
get
hear
attention.
and see. So, and then you start to buy into your own shit.
Yeah, that's like the Star Wars
Yeah,
chick.
there was that video. Some like conservative Twitter account. This Ashley something with American flag emojis.
I don't even
around
want
her.
to say her name.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't want to give her attention, but she posted this video of this sweet guy reacting to the Star Wars trailer, like getting super excited about it, and she was just like, Star Wars and these comic book movies are breeding a whole new sort of undateable man. Like it's so pathetic, or like just attacked him, and it's the sweetest video.
Yeah.
And of course, it just goes so viral. All the tweets are replying to it, and so many people are retweeting it, being like, "I can't believe she would say this guy is so." And I'm like, she clearly this was her plan.
And
Yes.
literally,
what else did she think was going to happen?
I think I've seen maybe 20 of the people that I follow respond to that tweet and like quote retweet it. I'm like, just stop giving her attention.
to be-
I'm so sick of seeing this woman's tweet.
It's so hard because you want to silence these people, but you also want to shame them because
Yeah.
you're like, hey, that person who like has this following and people like, they suck, and here's why.
But those people, they're not shamed. They're not shameable
No,
because
not
they
at all.
take
they get
take
more
enjoyment.
attention off of it. And she, on her Twitter account, was making it like she was the victim. She's like, I can't believe all these people are saying so many mean things to me.
Yeah.
And other people responding to that being like, I know, what's wrong with them? And I'm like, my God. But it is also cathartic, like reading the comments, responding to her, defending the guy, which was great.
Yeah.
And I was definitely getting like a little bit of a high off of just reading those. And I wanted to say something.
Yeah.
I wanted to pile on too, but I'm like, she doesn't care. She's not responding to any of these.
Yeah.
She clearly, like the insane things she's saying, no normal human.
Right.
She's not going to be shocked that we're responding.
And I mean, society
common
had
sense.
already weighed in. So what's the point in just adding to that pile and then attracting more and more and more and more
Right.
attention? But
And it's great for the guy in the video if he happens to have seen all this mayhem. Like, it's great that we're supporting him because he shouldn't feel bad at all in
Right.
this.
Yeah.
But I do hate that I can't help but feel like she was victorious in it. And that's the same with any time these troll, regardless of political or religious beliefs or whatever, just trolls on the internet, when they get so much attention, when
Yeah.
they cause an eruption, it's like they won.
it's like a drug. They're like, yeah, right in my veins. I need another hit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what they do. You say something insane and you're going to get a bunch of views.
Yep.
And then, hey.
I just try to ignore those people. Like
tough.
my comment on it on Twitter isn't going to change anybody's minds. And if
Right.
I don't agree with it, why would I want to bring everyone's attention to it? That just seems kind of,
And it's tough because it's like you said, like there isn't a right. Like the people who were responding were correct in supporting the guy, whatever. I can't say they're wrong for responding to her, but
also I think I read that guy's married. So
yeah, no, he's doing fine.
he's not undateable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's address that guy. F***s.
Yeah.
Probably.
Horde.
It is actually that video is actually the sweetest video ever. He is just sobbing
Those fan
through the
reactions
trailer.
are
I
great.
love it when people just unabashedly like a thing. It's like this pure emotion and connection with something. And so I love that stuff.
Nintendo fans reacting to Smash Brothers.
It's
much fun.
so sweet. I actually, real quick Game of Thrones thing. I will often, after watching Game of Thrones, days later, they'll often release like just reactions to that episode, and I will watch so much of that stuff. There used to be videos of a whole bar. They would record it of them all reacting to stuff, and I loved it because I was like, if I watch the video alone, then I'm like, I want to make sure other people are just as hyped as me. Sweet
People that are more drunk than me.
yeah, sick.
Why would you watch Game of Thrones in a bar? That sounds
awesome.
Yeah.
No, they're all like legit fans, so it's dead silent.
That's
And then the crazy thing happens, they all just go nuts.
Yeah, no, like, shh.
Yeah. Or you'll hear the one like, oh my God, is that shh. Stacy, stop.
Wait, what did that guy do? Shut up.
Is that the bad guy? God dang it, Stacy.
Where's Voldemort?
Oh God.
So when we were discussing topics for this, something that came up that we haven't gotten around to was the first video that I worked on here.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't remember, because the way we do things is, our production is a certain amount ahead of the writers, and then there's the release schedule. And so when I first came in, I was doing punch up on a few things, but it was like months before that stuff came out. The first full video that I really wrote on was Every Bird Ever.
Oh no, Monica.
Oh.
You shouldn't have said that.
Somehow I got away with it.
You shouldn't have.
I think, we've talked a lot of crap about Every Bird Ever over the years. I will say, I think I was the one, I believe I was the one who pitched it.
Yes.
Initially. I was like, I came into the office and I was like, guys.
That was the original Tinder
we got
for
to
Hot
do
Dogs.
Every Bird Ever. And I remember a lot of people were like, well, all right. And I was like, guys, we got to do it. It'd be so good. So, and I think the script was actually really good. And everybody did their job really well. And it just...
Sometimes the magic just isn't there in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Not all 10,000 of our videos can be absolute bangers.
Right.
Every
once in a while, you just got to have an every.
Even
bird
though
ever.
tons of people love Every Bird Ever.
Sure.
Tons of people. It's got its cult following. It's like Blade Runner.
It's exactly
Similar
like
audience,
Blade Runner.
I would say. Blade
Yes.
Runner, Every Bird Ever.
Exactly.
Very similar crowd.
Wow, what a bombshell to leave this podcast on.
Wow, I had
I'm
no
so
idea.
sorry.
That's also crazy just how long we've been working together.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit me until I think about that.
Well, Monica, Shayne, thank you so much for coming on this podcast, and I feel like I learned so much.
Thanks, Ein.
What?
Ein, thank you.
You're welcome. And you guys at home, thank you so much for listening to us just talk about Avant Jumbo. If you are listening to us on any of your favorite podcast apps, make sure you subscribe and do that little rate it. Give us more 5 stars.
If we get enough 5-star ratings and 50,000 subscribers
Tinder,
on the SmoshCast YouTube channel,
50,000 likes.
50,000 likes.
Yep.
And a bunch of 5-star ratings on iTunes, we will make Tinder for Hot Dogs.
We'll
for
give
Hot
the people
Dogs.
what they want.
Yeah, if you
exactly.
demand it, but you have to demand it.
Don't ask for it, demand it.
Yes, because that's how the internet works. Change.org. And if you're listening to this if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, you can see our faces, but you can't hear us say bad words. But make sure you're subscribed and watch the highlights. They're now appearing on the SmoshCast channel. They're no longer on Smosh Pit. And we love you so much. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Gross.